Hello everyone and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and welcome on board this Cessna Grand Caravan by Binter Airlines. We're here on the beautiful island of Tenerife today. Once we fire the engines up, we're going to taxi to runway 30 here on Tenerife's North Airport. And I'm so glad you can join me on board this short flight today over to somewhere absolutely gorgeous, the beautiful island of La Gomera. Right, I've just stopped here because I can see a plane taxiing into parking, just giving him a chance to pull in if he wants to. No, it looks like he's going to stop there and switch the engines off, so we are going to be safe to taxi over to the runway. Now the flight time today is scheduled to be around 20 to 30 minutes, and I'll tell you more about these islands and why we're doing this flight when we are up and running. The winds today are light and the visibility is excellent. We've been asked to hold short as there's a commercial jet just taking off. And there she goes. Absolutely beautiful. Alright, no time to waste. We've been told to get our act together, so let's get going. Now we usually rotate at about 70 knots, but I'm not going to take any chances here. I'm going to give it a good long run, speed down this runway, and make sure we've got some good pace when we take off. Well, we're airborne, so let's pitch up, and we're aiming for a cruise altitude of just over 5,000 feet today. For those of you who don't know, I was in Tenerife just a few weeks ago having a holiday and soaking up some much needed sun, and I got the chance to see aircraft just like these flying between most of the 7 volcanic Canary islands. Now that, coupled to the fact that the evening sunsets here are just beautiful to watch, I thought I'd showcase this for you today just as the sun begins to set. Well, here's the location of the Canaries. They're governed by Spain, but are technically in the African continent. So our flight is from Tenerife, the largest of the 7 islands, and we're going to a tiny island, the second smallest in fact, called La Gomera. And would you take a look at that moon? If we look at the VFR map, we can see we're slightly off the flight path. We'll adjust that as our flight continues, but you can see that is our flight path today. Now this may be the last flight sim video I make, at least with Flight Sim 2020, and I feel quite sad about that. I kind of wish I had done more with the sim, but I'll explain more about my reasons for that in a few moments. So as we continue our climb to cruise altitude, we can get an overview of Tenerife. The main feature you'll see is Mount Teide, the 3rd largest volcano in the world, I believe, at over 12,000 feet. I believe though that's only if you measure it from the base, which is actually well below sea level. This is definitely the highest peak in Spain. The volcano, although technically active, hasn't erupted since the early 1900s. Tenerife is also famous for its black sand beaches. The sand is actually extremely pretty when you see it up close. In addition to it being black sand, which is quite unusual, there are tiny silver fragments, a bit like glitter through the sand. Beware though, the sand gets very hot. Ask me how I know. You can't go far on this island without seeing banana plantations. Bananas literally grow everywhere on this island. I'm sure I read somewhere that around 25% of the island's output is bananas. Now the part of the sea that we're about to fly over is where boat tours take you out to go whale and dolphin watching, plus you get the chance to take a dip in beautiful clear waters and cool down. The north of the island, where we just left from, is famous for its lush forests, where down in the south it's very desert-like and lacks the greenery of the north. It actually looks far more green here on Microsoft Flight Simulator than it does in real life. It's really quite rocky and volcanic. So why am I feeling so sad about making this video? Well, Microsoft Flight Simulator has been a happy place for me, and these videos have always been a lot of fun to make and generally have been well received. I'm looking forward to the new Flight Sim 2024, which will be a huge step forward, but in some ways I kind of wish I'd done more with this sim. I wish I'd made more videos and did more challenges, and the reason I didn't was because I'm not a flight sim expert. I don't know all the controls or the plane systems in detail, and so I'm not sure if, rather than jumping from one aircraft to another, which is what I did, I should have perhaps changed my game plan and stuck to one particular plane and mastered it. And perhaps I should have just said, to hell with making things realistic, let's just fly and enjoy it. So I think that's kind of why I've held back and I've been quite selective about the videos I've made for the sim. Let me know in the comments what you think I should be doing going forwards. Should I perfect one aircraft and treat it like a real authentic sim? Or should I just play the hell out of it in a more arcade way, and that gives me the ability to keep jumping from different aircraft? Obviously, I'm not a dedicated flight sim channel. I'm not going to be able to keep up with the experts who only make flight sim videos. We're going to do a quick flyover of La Gomera airport because I've never been here before. We're going to turn around in a moment, but it does no harm to have a quick look. Actually, the runway looks good, it looks in good condition, and it is fairly long, so it doesn't look too challenging at all. And the sun setting just makes this place look absolutely stunning. One thing's for sure though, I'll be getting Flight Sim 2024 when it releases in November, and I cannot wait to see the new improvements and try the updated flight models. Everything I've heard about it has been fantastic so far, and there's even an arcade mode which I'm looking forward to very much. La Gomera is the traditional circular island, essentially a volcano coming out of the sea. It's the second smallest of all the Canary Islands and has a population of around 22,000 inhabitants. Christopher Columbus made his last stop in La Gomera in 1492 before he set sail to the New World. That's a pretty cool claim to fame, I would say. This is certainly the island to stay on for a more quiet pace of life. Not only is it more laid back and quieter than Tenerife, the volcano here hasn't erupted in around 2 million years, making this island much older than some of its neighbours. So I think we're pretty safe with this one, just got to make a safe landing first though. We're feeling a little bit of turbulence. I just increased the height slightly. I felt like we were sitting slightly low, and we are coming in at a little bit of an angle, but we will straighten everything up just before we touch down. We're just using the default scenery here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so this is why we've got a big forest at the end of the runway, as often happens. I'm pretty sure that in real life those trees are not there, or certainly aren't as tall, so it kind of limits our descent, makes us kind of come in a little bit steep, but no problem at all. We've got the whole runway to use, there's no need to panic. Look at the silhouette of the plane coming down there, it looks fantastic. Let's just try and keep it nice and buttery smooth, kill the power, take all the energy away, and the plane should drop down nicely. As we make our touchdown on runway 09 at La Gomera Airport, we'll taxi and park near the terminal. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy it or learned anything new today, then please leave me a like. It really helps the video and helps YouTube promote my work. If you're new, then please consider subscribing to see more flight sim content. And also consider watching this video here to see what happened when I took the shortest commercial flight in the world in my native Bonnie, Scotland. We're going to taxi into this bay, and they're even ready for us to guide us in here. And let's just creep up to our parking spot. Let's take it forward just a touch more. And maybe just a little bit more than that. Can we get it perfect? That'll do us. Well, thank you so much again for watching. But most importantly, have an excellent day. And until the next one, take care.